Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We're learning Mishna Yoma, Parak Ches, Chapter 8, Mishna Gimel, Mishna 3. Now, we need an introduction before we learn this Mishnah. If one mistakenly ate or performed the malacha, forbidden labor, on Yom Kippur, he is obligated to bring a chatas offering, what we call a sin offering, when he violated mistakenly. Mistaken violation means that he either did not know or forgot that it was Yom Kippur, or he did not know or forgot that this action, eating or performing malacha, or certain types of labor, is forbidden on Yom Kippur. That's what it means. To doing something unintentionally either means you forgot it was Yom Kippur, or you don't know about Yom Kippur, or you forgot about the act, the prohibited act, that it's prohibited, or you didn't know it's prohibited. That's called intentional, and that's when you bring a carbon chatas, a sin offering. Now, the general rule is that if one violated several different prohibitions for which one is liable to bring a chatas, he must bring a separate chatas for each violation. Okay? For example, if one mistakenly performed malacha on Shabbos, did a forbidden type of act on Shabbos, and then mistakenly ate chayla, forbidden fats, what a day, huh? He is obligated to bring two chatas offerings, one for each prohibition. Right? That makes sense. Two different sins, completely different sins. It needs two different atonements. Okay? However, if he violated the same prohibition even many times, he needs to bring only one chatas for all the violations. So, for example, if one mistakenly ate chaylev, the forbidden fats, and then repeated this action, he had one kazayas, and then another kazayas, and another kazayas, right? Even if he did it numerous times, he is obligated to bring only one chatas offering for all the violations of this prohibition. Since they're all the same, only one for all of them. However, that depends. Now, this is true, however, only if he remained unaware of that prohibition the entire time. If he was made aware of the prohibition between violations, he must bring a separate chatas for each violation. So let's talk about an example of that. Number 3 in the notes. In the previous example of eating chaylev, that's what he kept doing. If he was told or reminded that eating chaylev is prohibited, that the food he's eating is chaylev, then he forgot and ate chaylev again, he must bring two chatas offerings, one for each act of eating. So if somebody says, that's chaylev, okay, 5 minutes later, right? I shouldn't say 5 minutes. A minute later, not even that much, right? They say to him, "Why are you eating more of that fat?" He says, "Why not? I told you it's chaylev."
Tastes good.
He forgot again, but he had a point of knowledge in between that separates it. That makes it into two acts, two prohibitions. The period of awareness divides the two actions and creates two separate chatas obligations. So, if let's say, again, if you do two completely different sins, two chatas offerings. Mm-hmm. If it's the same one repeated, then it depends. If it's all part of one period of unawareness, it's considered like one act. If there was a period of awareness in between, then it's considered two, and you got to bring two chatases. Okay? So now our Mishnah discuss a person who violated Yom Kippur twice in one single period of awareness, in a single period of, let's call it unawareness. Now, says the Mishnah, Ochal b'shas b'elam echad. He ate and he drank in one period of unawareness. Okay, he ate his date's worth. He drank his cheekful. Okay, he did one, he did the other. Both are prohibited acts on Yom Kippur, but it was only in one period of unawareness. When he forgot it was Yom Kippur, while he forgot it was Yom Kippur, he ate and he drank. Only one sin offering for both. Why? Because eating and drinking are the same prohibition. There's not one prohibition for eating and another prohibition for drinking. It's part of, they both come from the same prohibition. They come from the same source in the Torah. And therefore, they're classified as the same type of sin. And therefore, if the same sin is repeated in one period of unawareness, and echas. All you have to bring is one sin offering for both. However, achavas malacha. Let's say he ate because he forgot it's Yom Kippur, and then he did some type of forbidden labor. And in that same period of unawareness, chayiv shtei chatos. Then you have to bring two sin offerings, because the prohibition for eating and the prohibition for malacha are two separate prohibitions.
Even though they have the same root.
Yes, and they're both on Yom Kippur. The point is that the Torah gave us one source for not eating, another source for not malacha. It's two separate sins, and therefore they both have their two separate sins. Finished. The Torah has two separate prohibitions for them. Each one is its own unique sin, and therefore, even though it's in one period of unawareness, you got to bring two sin offerings. Now the Mishnah tells us another halacha that's not related to this forgetting necessarily. It's more about the whole idea, the whole prohibition of eating on Yom Kippur. He ate something that's not edible. The example they give here is he ate bitter herbs, something really bitter, or spoiled meat. Okay, that is not fit for eating, right? That is not considered edible. Okay, something that's he ate. So he ate something not fit for eating. The shasa mashkin sheneruin l'shtia, or he drank some kind of a liquid that's not fit for drinking. Okay, it's just, he drank. I don't know what he drank. He drank something that's just not fit for drinking. Okay, really spoiled wine. Okay, or the shasa tzir amurius. Or he drank, or even if they translate it here as even if he drank, tzir is fish brine. Fish brine is liquid that oozes from salted fish. Murius, listen to this one, is dissolved fish fats. Okay, that's what he chugged down. Okay, Putter, you're exempt. Why? Because they're not fit for eating. Now, in the last two cases of the brine and the dissolved fish fat, they bring down from the Tiferes Yisrael an interesting point. Brine was used for dipping food into it. Right? You didn't drink brine, but you dipped meat into brine. I don't know if you dip food into brine. I should say meat and fish. That's a different story. Okay, and he dipped bread into brine. He dipped bread into this dissolved fish fat. It's like it's not edible at all as a liquid. It's edible as a liquid. It's not edible by itself. And therefore, the Mishnah wanted to tell you that because even though this liquid is edible, but it's not drinkable on its own, therefore, if you were to drink it, you would be exempt. And the understanding behind why when you eat any of these things, you're not chayv in Yom Kippur is because, again, Yom Kippur is about affliction. And we say that when you eat a certain amount, you feel a certain level of satisfaction, and that takes away your affliction. Not if you eat spoiled meat, and not if you eat bitter herbs. If it's not really edible, then when you just force it down, right, that doesn't satisfy you. It doesn't take away your affliction. And therefore, you're not liable for doing that on Yom Kippur. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Eat some of the stuff that's going to